Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sanma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sanma Vandamo Savatana Te Vandamo Savatana Te Jahara Prasada Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai Jahara Prasada Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Te Krishna Prapti Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Arana Koriyo Mane Asha Hare sarva asha. Je prasade pure sarva asha. चाकू दान दिलो दे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चाकू दान दिलो दे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशयते प्रेम भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद्या विनाशयते वेदेगा यहर चरितो ओ वेदेगा यहर चरितो ओ श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु ओ लोकेनाथ लोकेर जीवाना ओ लोकेनाथ लोकेन जीवाना ओ हा हा प्रभु खोर दया देह मोरे पाद छाया ओ हा हा प्रभु खोर दया देह मोरे पाद छाया ओ हा हा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे पाद छाया ओ एबे जास कुशुटि भुवाना एबे जास कुशुटि भुवाना शिला प्रभुपाद पपिता पवाना ओ शिला प्रभुपाद पपिता पवाना ओ जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद शिला प्रभुपाद ओ जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिला प्रभुपाद ओ जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Radhe Shyam. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Oh Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Oh Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Oh Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotar Shri Maresi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Stotar Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, मायापुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, नूरमनवेती धाम की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, यमुना माई की जय, गंगा माई की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotee, all glories to the assembled devotee, all glories to the assembled devotee, all glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. So while you're sitting down, I'm going to read you one of the many songs of Narottam Das Thakur, because today is his appearance day. So you have to sit down quietly, sitting down without opening your mouth. This is called Ishtade Vigyapati, Prayer to One's Beloved. And I'm just going to read the English, because why torture you? O Lord Hare, I have wasted my life. Although I have taken this rare human birth, I have not served Radha and Krishna, and thus I have knowingly drunk poison. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan has descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns in the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not accepted the means for relieving it. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Vraja, became the son of Sachi, and Balaram became Nittai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madhai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Vrishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottam Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? So tonight at 7 p.m., we're going to have a special program in the temple room, and that is honoring Narottam Das Thakur. Pran Govinda Prabhu and Pravir Prabhu are going to do bhajans, and then after each one of his important bhajans, his important songs, poems, then Pran will give a little explanation and how Srila Prabhupada used it and emphasized it in spreading Krishna consciousness. So it'll be a very nice program, also available on the internet. So now that I have all the children here, I want to read a letter that I got Sunday night in my email when I got home from the wonderful Nityananda Trayodasi. Remember Sunday was a festival? Nityananda's appearance day. So this is from a devotee. She's about as old as one of your grandmothers would be. She's an older Prabhupada disciple. She said, when I got to the temple tonight, everyone was at the yajna or in line for prasadam, so I went on to Sandhya Artik. The Gora Arti Kirtan was powerfully led by Vrinda Seth, and then Mukunda Fitch led Jayashri and Hare Krishna. And she said the Kirtan was very sweet and melodious, and she was in a really happy mood. So after the Artik, she left to get prasadam, and she was one of the last persons served. She said, in fact, I got the very last kachori. She took her plate, and she looked around, but she didn't see any empty seats. So she said, well, I'm going to walk over to my car and just sit there. But there were children running and playing in between the serve-out tables everywhere. And she was trying to figure out what the little boys were doing because they were running around kicking balls, and she was trying to avoid them. But one of the 6-year-old boys ran smack dab into my prasadam plate, scattering it across the lawn in the dark. I was stunned and almost cried. I almost feel like crying just thinking about losing all my prasadam. Kachori, gulab jamuns, rice, sweet rice, everything flew on the grass. I managed to pick up a few things, and the little boy was very sorry when he saw how sad I was, and he touched my shoulder tenderly. I couldn't say anything. I just picked up the dry food and shook the tomato chutney off my hands. My bead bag was covered in oily sabji. I got to the van and used a water bottle to wash my hands off. And when I got home, I salvaged the gulab jamuns, the kachori, and the kafta, mixed with dry grass, and she ate it. And the prasadam was delicious. But she said, what if I had been a guest and had that experience? where do you go? What church do you go to where children are free to run mad all over the grounds? What if I had been 74 instead of 64 and I had fallen? In 5 years, we're going to have a large number of very old devotees at this temple. What is the solution? Every Sunday, I am the only person who asks the children to stop playing with their balls. Every Sunday, every child here knows when they see me coming, they pick up that ball and they stop playing with it. I don't see any other parents ever stop them from doing this. And the parents are all over the place. All of you are all over the place. Every uncle, aunt, grandma, parent, sister is here. Just a minute. And I ask the children to play in the far field. I don't feel obligated to create ball fields for the devotees. I feel obligated to create beautiful kirtans and nice prasadam and Krishna Katha. But if you want something more for your children to do here in the way of recreation, make it happen, but don't have to. It shouldn't happen where people are walking, and this is a constant thing. The next step, I have to hire a stranger, some guard, to come here and just keep track of this, because it's a constant problem every week, and it's very depressing for me. I love Sunday, and I love meeting new people and having guests come and show them Prabhupada's house and talk to them about Krishna consciousness. But I can't do it because every time I turn around, I have to ask someone to pick up their ball and stop kicking it and get out of the way where people are walking. So please help me find a solution to this. This should not just fall all on me. These are the devotees who assisted their spiritual master dressing the deities today. Shri Shri Radha Sham Sundar Akuti Prabhu. Chota Radha Sham Sundar Madhuri Gopi Prabhu. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Astasaki Prabhu. Chota Krishna Balaram Govinda Mohini Prabhu. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Guru Prasad Prabhu. Chota Gaurnitai Leela Prabhu. Gurus and Lord Nishingadev Ananda Vardhani Prabhu. Pushkar Prabhu is giving the class today.
Gauranga bolite habe pulakashari Hare Hare bolite nayane babeni Gauranga bolite Pulakashari Hare Hare bolitenai Yane babeni Arkabe Nitai Chan Karuna Haibe Sangsara vasana mo kabe tushahabe Arkabe nitai chan karuna haibe Vishaya Chalya Kave Shudabeman Kave Amahirava Shri Vrindavan Hare Man, Kabe Amahera Boshri Vrindavan, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hare Akuti Kabe Hama Bhuja Bose Jugala Pirji Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hare Akuti Kabe Hama Bhuja Bose Jugala Puriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahumoras Prarthana Karaye Sada Narottamadas Rupa Raghunatha Pade Ramoras Prarthana Karaye Sada Narottamadam Gauranga Balite Abe Pulakachari Hare Hare Bolite Nayane Babeni Hare Hare Bolite Nayane Babeni Jaya Narottama Jaya Narottama Jaya Narottama Jaya Narottama Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur
Quickly, can't do it too quickly, but explanation that Prabhupada gives. In this song, Narottam Das says, Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharir. One who has attained the perfection of chanting, one has attained the perfection of chanting when as soon as he chants the name of Lord Gauranga, there is shivering in his body. This is not to be imitated, but Narottam Das Thakur is asking, when will that opportune moment come to us when there will be shivering of the body as soon as we chant Lord Gauranga's name? And after the shivering, Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Bobe Nir. While chanting Hare Krishna, there will be tears in the eyes. Any of the students know what Sharira means? Do you know that when you chant before Prasadam, Sharirara Vijaja? So, Sharira means what? Yes? Yeah, the body, means the body. So the same word is here in this song. And I think everybody knows bolite, bolo, chanting. And pulaka means when your hairs stand on end. Does anyone have their hairs stand on end when they're chanting? You do? Oh, they're all suddenly in ecstasy. Then this next line, Hari Hari Bolite Nayane Bobe Nir. That means, Nayane means the eyes, and Bobe Nir, the tears will flow. So does anyone have that problem, too many tears? You know, Lord Chaitanya used to worship, when he used to worship the deity when he was a householder. Does anyone know why he couldn't worship the deity? Why? Right. Too much tears. Very good. Every time he would try to worship the deity, and his whole cloth would become soaked with tears. So then he stopped doing worshiping the deity, because you really shouldn't be soaking your cloth. What? With his own tears, yeah. Well, we're not ready for that. Performing Abhishek with our tears. So these are some of the statements of this song. And today is the appearance of Narottam Das, who wrote this song. Many famous songs. Who wrote Shri Guru Charana Padma? Huh? Narottam. Very good. Okay, we're going to talk more about Narottam, but we'll do the Bhagavatam verse now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamodire Nashtapareshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So, the shloka is coming just now. We're doing Canto 10, Chapter 60, verse 14, 15, and 16. And Krishna teases Rukmini. Okay, so which verse did you chant at the school? Oh, you all chant, different classes chant different verses. 15 is the one? 15. So, okay, we'll read together 14. Huh? I'm up to 13? Okay, 13. Okay, 13, 14, 15. Pashtavartmanam pongsam alokapatami yusham astita padavim subhru prayarsiddhanti yoshitaha. Translation, O fine-browed lady, women are usually destined to suffer when they stay with men whose behavior is uncertain and then pursue a path not approved by society. Niskinchana vayam shashvan Niskinchana janapriya Tasmat prayena nahyadhya Mam bhajanti sumadhyame. Translation. You say they did 15, right? Huh? 15. Okay, so we'll just read through this. Translation. We have no material possessions, and we are dear to those who similarly have nothing. Therefore, O slender one, the wealthy hardly ever worship me. Purport. Like the Lord, his devotees are uninterested in material sense gratification, being awakened to the superior pleasure of Krishna consciousness. Those who are intoxicated by material wealth cannot appreciate the supreme wealth of the kingdom of God. Okay, 15. Yayor atma samangvitang janmaishvarya kritir bhava tayor vivaho maitricha Notamadhyamayo kvachit Jayoratma samangvittam Janmaishwarya kritir bhava Tayor vibaho maitri cha Notamadhyamayo kvachit. Bolo. Okay, students. Uttam Janmaishwarya Kritir Bhava Tayor Vibaho Maitri Cha. Okay, ladies. Jayorama samamvitam Janmaishwarya Kritir Notamadhyamayo kvachit. Jayoratma samangvittam Janmaishwarya kritir bhava Vivaho maitri cha. Okay, words. Yayo, of which two? Atma samam, equal to oneself. Vittam, property. Janma, birth. Aishvarya, influence. Akriti, and physical appearance. Bhava, posterity. Tayo, of them. Vivaha, marriage. Maitri, friendship. Cha, and na, not. Uttama, of a superior. Adamayo, and an inferior. Kvachit, ever. Translation. Marriage and friendship are proper between two people who are equal in terms of their wealth, birth, influence, physical appearance, and capacity for good progeny, but never between a superior and an inferior. Who's speaking all this? Anyone know? That's good. Who? Gopal. Huh? Me? Oh, me. Who's talking directly to Rukmini? Was it me or Sukadev? Gopal. Krishna. So, the last few verses from the beginning of this chapter, Krishna was telling Rukmini that she should actually had gotten a different husband because Krishna was not suited. She was too good for Krishna. He had too many arguments, so they're having this big discussion about that. And Rukmini is not very happy to hear this. So, purport. Persons of superior and inferior qualities may live together in a relationship of master and servant, or a teacher and a student, but marriage and friendship are proper only between those of equal status. The word bhava, in the context of marriage, indicates that a couple should have a similar capacity to produce good offspring. Lord Krishna here presents himself as materially unqualified. In fact, the Lord does not have any material quality. He lives in a pure spiritual existence. Thus, all the Lord's opulences are eternal and not of the flimsy, mundane sort. Om Gana Parandashya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshunlitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So in this 14th verse, twice it said Niskinchana, Niskinchana Vayam Shashvan, Niskinchana Jana Priya. Krishna is saying we have no material possessions and we are dear to those who similarly have nothing. Therefore, O slender one, the wealthy hardly ever worship me. This was a big topic at the end of the Bhagavatam in the 88th chapter. And it's a story of Vrikasura. But in the beginning, it's very philosophical and explained there that Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know how is it that those who worship Shiva, they generally, if they worship Shiva properly, they get a lot of money and they get a lot of opulence, a lot of material things. Just what Narottam Das was praying he did not want. Vishaya Chariya Kobe Shuddha Habimam. Vishaya means material sense gratification. So today is the day of Narottam, and he's praying on our behalf that we don't get any material sense gratification and that we become niskinchana. Kinchana means something, and niskinchana means, Gauranga, what does niskinchana mean? If kinchana means something, what is niskinchana? Who could guess? Nothing. So Krishna is saying here that he has nothing. Does Krishna have nothing? He has everything, but it's explained that he has nothing. He doesn't require nanavaptam avaptabhyam in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, nanavaptam avaptabhyam. I have nothing. Trishu lokeshu kinchana. He says, kinchana. He uses the same word here. Within the Trishu lokeshu. Who could guess what that means? The Trishu. 3 worlds. The 3 worlds, Krishna says, there's nothing that I want at all. So Krishna has nothing. But he recommends that we also have nothing. Practically every chapter of Bhagavad Gita is an essay on getting nothing, how to get nothing really fast. Who wants something? Raise your hand. Who wants something? You want something? Go ahead, name something you want. Successful? What's success mean, though? Gopal, what do you want? He wants what? That's good. That's a good thing. So, Lord Chaitanya, in his Shikshastakam, all right, we all know that somebody wants something, but hopefully it's not material. Couldn't hear you. Okay, so we're finished with that topic. Everybody knows that if you want material things, you should worship Lord Shiva. So is anyone here worshiping Lord Shiva? No. Because in that 88th chapter, it's explained, and Prabhupada used to quote about himself, Yasyaham Anugranami Harishet Tadanam Shanai, that Krishna's special mercy is, if you're very, very sincere, what will happen? He'll take away all your stuff. And just like Prabhupada's wife even took away his Bhagavatams and traded them for who knows what? Tea biscuits or something. Now, who would do that? That's kind of strange. And also, Prabhupada had things stolen. One time I was on a morning walk with Prabhupada in Mayapur, and a cow was coming. Who's been to Mayapur? Well, anyway, you know, there's the gate. It used to not be so fancy in 1974. Now it's big and fancy. And there used to be the Goshala, used to be near the gate. Small little Goshala. Nowadays it's big, and it's in a whole different part of Mayapur. So we were walking behind, and Prabhupada's there, and Jai Bhataka Maharaj, Bhavananda, usual crew. And a cow was coming about as far as the Vyasasan, and Prabhupada put his cane out, and he quoted a verse from Chanakya Pandit that one should not trust an animal with horns. And he put his cane like that. And everyone was thinking, oh, why is Prabhupada saying that? But later on, we found out that Prabhupada had been gored by a cow. I think on the very day that he took sannyas in New Delhi. Huh? Mathura had happened? Mathura. Wasn't Delhi? Delhi was a heat stroke. Delhi was a heat stroke. Mathura had happened. What? Cows have horns. Not only bulls. Does anybody want to get gored by a cow? No. They're pretty big also. It wasn't a bull. We heard it was a cow. So therefore, Prabhupada quoted that shloka where Chanakya Pandit said, you have to be very wary of any animal that has horns and teeth and a man who has weapons, politicians and something else. So also this word, niskinchana, everyone knows who King Prataparudra is. Who doesn't know? Who knows? Who knows who King Prataparudra is? Who can tell me? Not even Gauranga? Not Gopal? None of the brainiacs? Nobody? King Prataparudra was a great king in Jagannath Puri, and he's the first one who swept the road in Jagannath Festival. Every time we have Rath Yatra, we sweep the road. So King Prataparudra had a golden broom, and he was sweeping the road. Now, he always wanted to see Lord Chaitanya, but because he was a king, Lord Chaitanya would not see him. So you know what the devotees did? They brought his son in front of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya's heart got softer by seeing his son. So the son represents the father. So do all these students represent their parents? If their parents are great devotees, they also represent. Very good. So, and also they gave King Prataparudra a cloth to worship, a piece of cloth of Lord Chaitanya. So because this is called Tadiya, it's a paraphernalia or the associates of the Lord. But although the king was very desirous to see Lord Chaitanya during the Rath Yatra, there was a lot of ecstasy. When Lord Chaitanya was fainted in ecstasy, King Prataparudra caught him. And when Lord Chaitanya got caught by the king, and he saw that it was the king, he broke away from the king, because sannyasi is supposed to be completely renounced, niskinchana. And the king, although the king was a great devotee, because he has to deal with the material world, at least in the beginning, Lord Chaitanya did not meet with him, and he quoted a famous verse, Niskinchanasya, and all the sannyasis are meant to chant one of their verses, Niskinchanasya Bhagavan Bhajanan Mukasya. All the students have cell phones also? No. Okay, my advice is don't get one. So in the verse that Lord Chaitanya quoted, Niskinchana, he uses this same word, Niskinchana Bhagavan Bhajanan Makasya. Somebody who, Sandarshinam, Param Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya. Someone who wants to become free, Niskinchana, as said in this verse, he cannot associate with the king. At least he didn't then. But when the king, later on, who knows the story? The king, he had to do something in order to get Lord Chaitanya's association. One particular thing where Lord Chaitanya was resting in the garden during the Rath Yatra, Who knows the story? No. So the king he took his king clothes off, and he dressed like a sadhu. And then he came to Lord Chaitanya, and he massaged his feet, and he was chanting the song of the gopis. And he got to one particular sloka, he chanted all of them, but Tavakatamritam tapta jivanam kaviberiditam kalmasapaham Shravana mangalam shrimad adatam bhuvigananti borida jana. So when he quoted that verse, Lord Chaitanya was so happy, so ecstatic, that he not only didn't push the king away, but he embraced the king. And in that verse it says, Borida Jana, that the gopis are saying that Krishna is the most magnanimous person, the greatest person. And they're completely in love with Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, of course, he's in the mood of Radharani, he was completely in love with Krishna also. Therefore, he embraced the king and he kept saying, you are the most magnanimous. So before, the king couldn't get the association, but now he's getting embraced by Lord Chaitanya himself. So it's Narottam Das's appearance, so we're going to read a little more about Narottam Das. It's 8:32 or something. Time for a little... Okay, so there's different... This is a Narottam Vilas by Narahari Chakravarti Thakur. We can read a few Vilas. Vilas means what? Pastimes. So there's different pastimes, and the chapters are different Vilasas. So I just kind of didn't really have time to look at everything, but there's so many nice pastimes where we'll hear some. Well, there's so much, it's hard to leave out something. It's hard to leave out anything. But Lord Chaitanya came to Mayapur. Narottam Das came to Mayapur. And he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house. At that time, Shuklambar Brahmachari happened to pass by. Now, he must have been quite older. Does anyone know one of the things that Shuklambar Brahmachari, when Lord Chaitanya first revealed that he was a great devotee, previously he was a great pundit, the greatest pundit in the world. But Shuklambar Brahmachari was one of the first devotees that he spoke to when he came back from Gaya. So then Narottam Das bowed down at Shuklambar Brahmachari's feet. And Shuklambar asked him, who are you? Then Narottam Das told him, I am Narottam. Shuklambar Brahmachari broke down and cried. Can you imagine? He didn't even know him before. Well, you've heard of him. He's so famous, Narottam. But we haven't read the whole book. We're only reading a part, so we'll just read that part. With a choked voice, first he broke down, he embraced him very warmly, and with a choked voice he explained, when Lord Gaurachandra Mahaprabhu was absorbed in ecstasy in the village of Ramakeli, he lovingly called out your name. He called out Narottam's name even before Narottam was born. That's how great a devotee Narottam Das Thakur. Uttama means the best. Like we have this word just in the shloka here. Adama. Adama means, it says Uttama Adama. Uttama. So Narottam means the superior, and Nara, the best of men. So he's the best of men, Narottam. Very nice name. Although he was a great prince, he was a son of a very wealthy king, but he gave it all up and just ran away. That's what this book explains. He ran away just to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. He went to Vrindavan, and he became a great acharya, a great guru. So we sing his songs every day, hopefully. Who can understand the mystery of the Lord's pastimes? At that time he predicted your birth. O my son, all of the elderly devotees, including myself, have been eagerly waiting for you. Imagine all these senior devotees that were like older than his grandfather, and they were waiting to meet him. Actually, Lord Chaitanya's disappearance is unbearable for us. Some of us have already left the world. Suklambar introduced himself to Narottam and took him to meet all the other remaining associates of Lord Gauranga. Narottam Das took the dust from all these devotees' feet, and they reciprocated by embracing him affectionately. Although they were suffering greatly due to separation from Lord Chaitanya, they felt immediate relief upon seeing Narottam Das Thakur. They eagerly asked him about many things, and Narottam Das happily answered all their questions. Damodar Pandit and other devotees did not want Narottam to leave, so he stayed for a few days in the houses of some of Lord Chaitanya's favorite associates. Narottam Das Thakur was so fortunate that in his dreams he was able to meet the devotees who had already departed from the world. In his dreams. After a few days, the devotees reluctantly allowed Narottam Das to depart, and their hearts were very heavy due to feelings of impending separation. They said sweetly, "The Lord has kept us alive just so that we could see you. But alas, we will not be able to see Srinivasacharya." While speaking, the devotees' voices became choked due to intense emotion. With a perturbed mind, Narottam Das touched everyone's feet, and he went to Lord Gaurachandra's house for a final visit. And he found even the servants and maidservants were on the verge of death due to separation from the Lord. By seeing Narottam Das Thakur, their misery became slightly relieved. As a way of blessing Narottam Das Thakur, they said, "Due to the desire of our Lord, you will execute his mission and thus perform wonderful service." Then they bade him farewell. Narottam Das was crying loudly, and he fell to the ground in the courtyard. After a long time, he controlled his emotions, and he started for Shantipur. Then he went to Advaitacharya's house, and he worshipped the lotus feet of Achyutananda, the son of Advaitacharya. He was very merciful to Narottam and introduced him to all the devotees there. Later, he ordered Narottam, "Go to Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, and then return to your village and begin to popularize Sankirtan." After saying this, Achyutananda began to weep, and his thin body trembled. Narottam Das once again worshipped the lotus feet of all those devotees, and then he bid them farewell. Someone who had seen Narottam Das pass by rushed to Hridaya Chaitanya and excitedly informed him, "A beautiful young man who is filled with love for Gaur Nitai is coming to see you." Hridaya Chaitanya immediately understood it must be his beloved Narottam. Filled with emotion, he ran to the door to welcome him. Narottam Das fell at the lotus feet of Hridaya Chaitanya, who tearfully welcomed him, taking him on his lap. He then escorted Narottam to the temple of Gaur Nitai for darshan. Seeing his beloved lords before him, Narottam fell on the ground crying. Hridaya Chaitanya carefully pacified him and gave him the deity's prasad garland. With great affection, Hridaya Chaitanya kept Narottam with him for 2 or 4 days, and then after dedicating him at the lotus feet of Gaur Nitai, ordered him to go to Jagannath Puri Nilachala. All the great Bhagavats, including Hridaya Chaitanya, were very sad to see him go. So he was going all around seeing all the old devotees. Here, now it says, They say, these are what the devotees were saying, we have known about you for a long time. We have heard about your travels to Vrindavan, the theft of the Goswami manuscripts, and your visit to Navadvip. We're so happy to finally see you. Saying this, each of the devotees introduced themselves while Narottam tearfully worshipped their lotus feet. Thereafter, the devotees took Narottam to the house of Nityananda Prabhu. When Vasudha and Janavi Devi were told of Narottam's arrival, they eagerly requested he immediately be brought into the interior of the house. Upon entering, Narottam Das felt himself to be extremely fortunate. Worshipping the lotus feet of Janava and Vasudha Devi, he bowed down at the feet of Birbhadra Prabhu. Seeing Narottam Das, Vasudha Devi and Janava Mata could not conceal their overwhelming love for him. Who's Veerabhadra? Does everybody know? He is the son of Nityananda. Who's Janava and Vasudha? The wives. We heard about that recently. I don't think we talked so much about Veerabhadra. Did anyone hear about Veerabhadra? He certainly deserves the title of Mahashaya. Out of affection, they kept Narottam Das with them for 4 days, and all of the devotees of that place, Kardaha, came to meet him. Vasudha, Janava, and Veerabhadra could not bear to leave him for a moment. The all-knowing Janava Thakurani privately spoke to Narottam, ordering him to go to Nilachala without further delay. At the time of Narottam Das's departure, Mahesh Pandit and other devotees embraced him again and again, wishing him a safe journey. Narottam Das bowed down at their lotus feet and departed, crying. The devotees accompanied him for some distance. Finally, after pacifying themselves, as well as Narottam, they returned home. He who attentively hears the narration of Narottam's journey in Bengal will have all his desires fulfilled. Therefore, listen attentively as I, Narahari, narrate the Narottam Vilas. So it's not like just because there are great senior devotees like 50, 60 years older than Narottam Das or more, that they just thought, well, he's just a young guy, we're not interested in him. No, they were so ecstatic, giving him blessings and embracing him and feeling his separation. So it doesn't matter if one is, just like Sukadeva Goswami, he came into the assembly, he was only, how old? Maybe 16, more than he was born at 16. So we'll say he was very young, but he was very young, and he wasn't even wearing any clothes, but even all the great sages there, they stood up and they accepted him as a great authority. One does not have to be, just like Prahlad Maharaj, he's 5 years old, Dhruva Maharaj. One does not have to be an old man to be a great preacher, a great devotee. One can be a kid in the Gurukula. Right? Does anyone want to hear more about Narottam? Over here they do. Over there too. So he's on his way to Puri. And now, in this a very elderly Brahmana was passing Narottam on the road. When he looked at his devotional mood, observing his devotional mood, something suddenly came into the Brahman's mind. He slowly approached Narottam Das and asked him very mildly, "What is your name, my son? Where have you come from?" When he heard Narottam Das's reply, the Brahman's suspicions were confirmed, with tears of ecstasy rolling down his face. So Narottam Das was such a great devotee that this Brahmana, just by seeing him passing, could understand he was a great, great personality. And he was even thinking he might be Narottam Das, because Narottam Das became very golden, just like Lord Chaitanya. And he showed all these ecstatic symptoms. Or else how could he write all these great songs? Even today, we sing his song every day. We never get tired of singing his songs. And we sing this song, Gauranga Bolite Habe, and the song of separation from the great acharyas. So many wonderful songs. Mukhya read one song also. Hari Hari Vipale, Janama Guaino. He was lamenting that My birth is useless, manusya janama paya. I didn't worship Radha Krishna, therefore it is fruitless, no use to be born. In his other song he says, I should have died long ago because I didn't take part in the Kirtan. Gora Kirtana Rase Magana Hainu. I didn't merge myself in the Kirtan. So he introduced the Kirtan also. Great Kirtan in what we call Radhadesh, Bangladesh, East Bengal. So everybody knows about, at least all the Hindus, they worship Narottam there. Greatly worship more than anybody. The question? Well, the great devotees can be worshipped as much as Krishna. We worship Lord Chaitanya, he's in the form of a devotee. And the other devotees in the Panchatattva, like Gadadhar and Shivas, they're not on the level of Krishna. They're jiva souls, and we worship them. They're part of the Panchatattva. We have to. Or else we have to worship our guru. And we worship Prabhupada, and he worshipped his guru. Every moment, Prabhupada Padam, Pranamami Sada. At every moment, you should worship. Every moment of every day, every hour, every moment. Always, Prabhupada said, my guru is always beside me. At every moment. Of course, Krishna is always there. If you're thinking of your guru, then you'll be thinking of Krishna also. So, this old elderly Brahmin, he saw Narottam Das, and tears started rolling down his face. He embraced Narottam. For so long, I've heard about you. I've been cherishing the hope of one day meeting you. Today, Providence has shown me mercy. I have just come from Jagannath Puri, where I received the mercy of those devotees of Lord Chaitanya that are still present there. Now I have fortunately found you here. With great pleasure I have listened as the devotees describe your glories. Just see, those devotees, and he already heard about from these other devotees. He heard about Narottam. I heard you were bringing the books of the 6 Goswamis from Vrindavan to Bengal, and unfortunately they were stolen away. I also heard that you would soon be coming to Nilachala, and everyone was eagerly waiting for you. Gopinath Acharya, Kashi Mishra described how Sri Chaitanya had called for you when he visited Ramakeli. So, when Lord Chaitanya had visited Ramakeli, we just mentioned, he actually predicted and called for Narottam himself. So, what could be more exalted position if Lord Chaitanya called for him? At that time, the Brahmin's son arrived. The elderly Brahmin introduced him to Narottam Das Thakur and ordered him to accompany him to Nilachala. When the Brahmin cheerfully bade them farewell, Narottam Das took the dust of his feet and placed it on his head before starting his journey. When reaching Purushottam Kshetra, Jagannath Puri, Narottam Das and his companion observed the beauty of Lake Narendra, while remembering the Lord's pastimes of sporting in the water there. Narottam Das was unable to hold back his tears. After bathing, he hurried toward the Singadwara. What's the Singadwara? Anybody? Students? Dwara means the gate, the door. So the Singadwara is the main front. You always see pictures of it during the Rath Yatra. There's lions there. Singa means lions. So that's the main door to the temple. Gate opening. At that time, Gopinath Acharya and the other devotees were also proceeding toward that Singhadwara. As they walked, Sikhi Mahidi said to Mangaraj, I cannot understand why my mind is filled with joy. Kanai Kuntiya said, I don't know what is about to happen, but it's evident from the auspicious omens I see that something wonderful awaits us. Gopinath Acharya told Baninath, I think that we will meet Narottam Das very soon. Wow, he must have been so great that they were thinking something so auspicious. I feel it. I just feel we're going to meet Narottam Das. And these are the direct associates of Lord Chaitanya. So they know what ecstasy is like. They're very familiar with this. As they were speaking in that way, the Brahmana's son came and informed them of Narottam Das's arrival. Who could describe those devotees' jubilation receiving that news? The Brahmin boy rushed back to Narottam Das and pointed out the devotees who were approaching in the distance. When he saw all those devotees coming, Narottam Das Thakur became overwhelmed by surging emotions. He immediately fell on the ground, offering obeisances at their lotus feet. With tears streaming from his eyes, Gopinath Acharya ran to greet Narottam Das and embraced him affectionately. Now, just imagine, Gopinath was the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma, and here it is several decades afterwards, and so he must have been quite old. Later on, when Narottam became pacified, they took him to the temple to see Jagannath. After entering the temple through the Singadwar, Narottam Das first bowed down before Nrsingadev. Then, when he saw Jagannath along with Balaram and Subhadra seated on their thrones, Narottam Das became filled with ecstatic emotion. At that time, Jagannath benevolently bestowed his mercy on Narottam Das. The Pujari of Jagannath, understanding the mind of his Lord, brought the deity's garland and offered it to him. Okay. I can read another paragraph. Narottam Das Thakur was unable to control his emotions, so he wept incessantly. There's a lot of crying going on. A lot of crying going on. I don't know if they sold those little packets of tissues in those days, but they could have done a good business. Finally, after pacifying Narottam Das, Gopinath took him to his house. There he instructed an experienced devotee to accompany Narottam to the samadhis of those associates of the Lord who left the world. Thereafter he went and informed everyone of Narottam Das's arrival at Nilachala and brought varieties of Mahaprasad from the temple for him. So, any comments, questions? Okay, all glory to Narottam Das. What? We have something? Yeah, right. Narottam Das has taken all the essence of the Vedic literature and put it into very simple Bengali language, as good as all the Vedic conclusions. So all we can do is relish, hear and chant, relish the bhajans of Narottam. We have no other business, really. It's similar other bhajans, Bhagavatam. So the devotee's business is simply relishing. Hare Krishna.